Bert's tour was like the pinnacle of like holy shit, like things are happening now.
Yeah,
because we were on a tour bus. I've had trouble sleeping, but on that tour bus I slept like a baby.
Right.
And then there was like snacks, drinks. I didn't drink too much. There's mushrooms.
Yeah, he has those too.
Fun. Yeah,
it's part of his diet. What is it? Can I ask you? Because I heard this thing, but I don't know. I really don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Do you have like a beef or get dogged by George Lopez?
George Lopez. He just on his podcast, he had that dude Steve Trevino on.
Yeah, I remember Steve.
And something about like, I guess Steve kept bringing me up, and
just like, hey, here's a funny dude.
Nah, Steve was saying something like I don't know. He was like, we gotta help the young guys, like we gotta help the Ralph Barbosas of the world. Which, by the way, I've never met Steve in my life, but
it sounds like he was.
I'm still waiting on that help.
But it sounds like he was trying to say like, let's lift somebody up.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know. I've always heard the stories with George is like he's very anti-lift people.
That's cool. Very nice.
But yeah, he was just like, nah.
Really cool.
He's like, fuck that. And every time he said my name, I guess George was getting mad, and George was like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, don't say his name on here. Fuck that guy. And
then that kind of,
yeah, man, Mexicans were pissed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just started blowing up his comments. They're like, there's like 30-year-old Mexican dudes who sounded like 12-year-olds. They're just like, fuck you, titty bitch. Like,
dang.
Really?
Yeah.
But like it wasn't like personal animosity, right? Because he didn't know you.
I think he could have brought up anybody's name, and he would have been like, fuck that guy, whoever's his name.
Yeah. I got you.
I'm stoked. The Latin comedy world, it's time for new blood. I love you. I love Frankie Quinones.
Oh, I think that's cool.
This is like
what
this
about
is great.
Fucking Don Segura?
Oh, that's but,
you know,
like a widow though. You know, shit.
Your comedy set in Spanish was the first Spanish set I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, at the Addison Improv. It was like a few years ago.
No shit.
It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, thanks, man.
Me and my buddy Jesus went, and
Jesus Trejo.
Oh, that guy's funny too.
Yeah, he's
great.
super funny.
That guy's amazing.
You guys went to that show?
No, not that Jesus. Another Jesus.
No,
I know quite a few Jesuses.
You and your buddy went to that Spanish show.
Yeah, at the Addison Improv. You had other comics like from Puerto Rico and stuff there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool as hell, man. No, a couple of the Puerto Ricans I couldn't really understand, but
it's so different, right? The accents, and the slang,
Spanish, yeah.
And you'll be like, I speak Spanish. Then you'll meet someone, and you're like, oh fuck, I guess I don't speak Spanish. Like it's, and then like, well, the good thing about that tour, like, because I was supposed to be gearing up to shoot one in Spanish, and I had Richard Avilla with me.
Oh yeah, and Richard was there,
yeah, and Richard's, I mean, he's a really good comic. He's also incredibly proficient, but he's also really good at performing. Like he can perform obviously in English, but he really knows like the Latin crowd. And he was the one who early on was like, just know that like when we're touring, like, because we did some Cali shows, Arizona and Texas tour, and it was supposed to go on from there. But he's like, dude, 90% of these crowds are Mexican, so you're gonna perform for Mexican people, just like. And then starting to like tweak little things, like whether it's an expression, like he would tell me, he's like, oh yeah, like when you say that, it's going to make sense to you, but people are going to be like, they're not used to that expression. So you should do a joke about your expression. You know what I mean? Because like I was saying things that are so specifically Peruvian, because that's just what I know. He's like, you got to explain that. So that was like a huge help, like knowing that the audience, they speak Spanish, but they're not used to saying that, you know?
Yeah, there's different types of Spanish. That's cool. He was like molding you like a kung fu.
Yeah, he
master
was. He was, dude. He
Mexican
totally was.
anecdotes.
Of Mexican anecdotes, and like he would give me a tag. I'd be like, what? He goes, trust me, Mexicans
He'd be
will
like,
that
trust
shit.
me, say taco.
Yeah. I was like, okay, and then I would do it, and he would be like, what I say? Okay. Like I told you, man. I was like, okay.
Nah, it was hilarious, man. I honestly think it's way funnier to see somebody perform in Spanish who doesn't usually speak Spanish. Like that's not their first language. I mean, part of what makes something funny is like vulnerability.
Totally.
And when you're speaking in a whole other language, it's like, I don't know, twice as vulnerable, twice as funny.
You're so much more vulnerable. I was telling those guys that, you know how when you're working a weekend at the Improv and you're the middle act for like a huge name, right? Like a big name is in town and you're middling. And there's a certain type of nerves that comes for that. You're like it's packed, like all the shows are sold out and you're like, you have a little bit like, right? And the longer you do it, like 10 years from now, you know, some of those nerves, they just start to fade. You still have butterflies about new bits and will this work and, oh, this crowd is enormous. But when I was doing those Spanish shows, I felt like I was a first year comic opening for I would be, I mean, with my notebook, you know what I mean? It was like bringing me back to that very vulnerable state of like, oh my God. And then you inevitably fuck up what you're saying on stage.
Yeah.
You know, but like the crowd was so supportive because they were like, you don't normally do this. And they had that thing where they were like almost cheering you on.
Yeah, hell yeah. They wanted you to win.
Yeah.
You inspired me that show. Not to like do Spanish comedy, but you went up there in a Nike hoodie, and before that I was really self-conscious about what I wore on stage.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, he's wearing a Nike hoodie. I can do whatever up there.
Okay, cool. You got it on today.
I wore this last night. Yeah. I haven't even showered.
I'm inspiring, man.
Yeah. I performed in front of a bunch of Mexicans last night in a Nike hoodie. I was
Where'd
like,
you
check
go?
me out. I'm the new Tom.
Where'd you go?
I was in Irvine, California.
Oh, last night.
Last night.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So you flew in super early?
Yeah, I got here. I got my rental, and I came right here.
Oh,
Nice,
fuck.
man. How was Irvine? That's always a blast.
That's a good crowd.
For you, maybe.
Yeah.
It was like
Too white?
It was like 50-50. Nah, it would just be like one really good show, like just I don't know, and then the other show, I'm trying out new material.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. So yeah, one show, me and the crowd would just be one.
But your special just came to me the worst feeling, but also you know that it's going to be good later is in the first couple of months when a special comes out, because it can't be all great and it sucks, but you know you have to go. It's like you're training. You're like fuck, and you leave shows like bummed out.
But I'm like, damn, the first set of shows. I mean, it would have been cool if the special came out and we were doing like maybe like a smaller club, but that room is big. It's like 490
it's
people.
like a small theater.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, man, it's like that's a lot of people to disappoint. They're like, yo, because they gave me good feedback on the special. They're like, yo, we saw your special, awesome. I'm like, cool, I'll see you in there.
Yeah.
And then I just have to.
I always start when my first shows back are like in 100-seaters when like to start new because I just feel like it's
New.
You know,
I'm still learning the ropes here.
Yeah, well, I mean, try it.
Some of the shows would be awesome though, but then other shows like not so.
Yeah, I like gearing.
You know what I like to do is the like the B rooms and whatever, like in Cap City, I'll do like the small room, the red room, and then at Joe's Club I'll do the side room.
I like
little
that too.
boy, just like 100 people, like you said. Just like, so if I fucking bomb it, you know,
whatever.
You were here, you saw me make the sausage, it failed. Sorry.
Nah,
you know?
yeah. Who cares about those 100 people?
Yeah.
They'll sink
Belly
on a
room.
cruise one day or something.
Yeah, fuck them.
exactly.
Nobody will know.
Ooh, hey James, did you enjoy that highlight? Why don't you have one more click of fun around here? I don't know. Click here or here. Try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You can send it to your grandmother. You're not going to miss a moment of denim, okay? Try it out.